Nicole Munoz here from StartRankingNow, and today I'd like to talk to you about blogging and social media and how you can use that in your business. So, one of these services that we offer here at StartRankingNow is we help our clients with their blogging strategy. And so one of the first things that we do every quarter is we create what's called an editorial calendar. And this editorial calendar, we map out not only the content that we're going to be writing, but we try to determine the keywords that we're going to be focused on, exactly what the outline looks like for each of the articles, and we also try to figure out how we can use the content to help move people through the 7 stages of the buying cycle. So the 7 stages of the buying cycle, I have a whole 1-hour webinar that goes through all of that. So we're not going to go into that all of that right now. But the 7 stages of the buying cycle basically are pre-awareness, awareness, interest in education, consideration, justification, purchase, and post-purchase. And each one of those 7 stages are what every single person goes through when they're trying to make a buying decision, whether we think so or not, or what in some of these they pass through these stages almost instantaneously, but they're still going to go through each of these different stages. So the content on our website, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're blogging is they're just thinking, oh, I'm just going to put in a bunch of content that is related to my keywords that people might be searching for. But they're not really thinking about how can this content actually help people to move through the 7 stages of the buying cycle. And so that's one of those extra little steps of planning that we do when we create our editorial calendar. So when we create our editorial calendar, the first thing is we map out the 7 stages. We then want to find out, okay, well, what keywords are we searching? Where do we want to get ranked for? And we want to find out what content is the most shared content on the internet today that has been the most shared using those keywords. So we'll use a tool called BuzzSumo, and we'll go into BuzzSumo, we'll put in the keyword, and immediately it's going to show us a list of all of the top shared content on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. We'll look at the top shared content, we'll see which one of those articles relate to our product or service, make sure they're a good fit, they're actually going down the profit path to make a conversion for our clients, and then we'll rewrite that headline for our client, and we'll put that, and we'll think about, okay, well, where does this fit in the buying cycle, and then we'll plug that into one of those 7 stages of the buying cycle. And that's how we'll create a 90-day editorial calendar. We're taking into consideration all of the different areas. We're taking into consideration the 7 stages of the buying cycle, the keywords, most shared content, and how we can help use that content and move people through the 7 stages of the buying cycle. So now that we've created our editorial calendar, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and start publishing some of that content. So after we publish, we can have the writers do their magic and write all different types of content. Maybe it's going to be a list post or an interview type post or a collaborative type post, or maybe it's going to be a very long, some of them are going to be very long, 1,500, 2,000 words. Other ones might be really short. Maybe some of them are going to have videos on them. So we're going to create this content, and then we're going to begin to publish it onto the blog. So the question is always asked, how often should I blog? The answer to that is quite simple. How often, and I'm going to answer that question with another question. The question is this: how often do you want to have new visitors visit your website? Well, every day, right? Maybe even every hour. So if you want to have new traffic to your website every single day, you should be blogging every single day. And you're like, oh, that's a huge investment. How am I ever going to afford that? Yes, I know. It is a huge investment. But that is the way that you're going to get the results that you're looking for, which is traffic to your website every single day. So what if you're a brand new business owner and you can't do that investment right away? You don't have a full-time writer, you don't have time. Well, the best thing in that point is to at least get started. Start with doing at least 2 blog posts a week, and the very minimum 1 blog post per week, to try to get that new, fresh content coming in on a regular basis. And the new content doesn't necessarily have to be written. You could shoot a quick video just like this one and put it onto your website, and that is also content. You can get that video transcribed, then you could have someone edit it, and then you can get fresh content going every single day. So now that we have the content onto the website, what's the next step? Well, the next step was we actually need to promote that content. So how do we promote it? that's where social media comes in. Social media is the easiest and fastest way to get the word out with our new content that we've published. So in this case, we might have, we're going to have all hit the major channels, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and Pinterest. And each of the blog posts is going to have an image, and then that image is then going to be posted onto the different social media platforms with a link back to the blog post. We're also going to use other bookmarking sites and other ways to promote each of the different articles, including potentially using paid advertising with Facebook to promote that blog post as well. So the last step that most people miss is they've written this great blog post, they have promoted it with social media and paid advertising, but then, and they have traffic that's coming into their website, but the last part that they miss is they do not have a type of a call to action on that blog post. They don't think about what's the next step. So that's what you always need to consider with every piece of content on your website, is to think, okay, once somebody comes to my website, once they come and visit this specific blog post, what is something of value that I can offer them to what's the next step? Maybe you're going to have one free offer that's on the bottom of every single blog post of your website. But if you could even take it a little step further and think, for every single blog post, maybe you could add a checklist or an infographic, or what could be something that people could opt into for on every single blog post that will help to continue that conversation. So for example, maybe if you do a video just like this one, maybe the opt-in offer is going to be a transcription, or maybe the opt-in offer is going to be a checklist or a little guide. So blogging, social media, make sure you have a call to action. Nicole Munoz from Start Ranking Now.